Okay, where we go. So, hello and welcome back again, and it's time for another Pixiecast, and I'm back in the United States of America, and I'm heading over to Tucson, Arizona, to talk to Brandon Webb. Brandon, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, Andrew?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well, and it's nice to meet you.
Nice to
So,
meet you too.
so Tucson, Arizona. Apart from the reference in the Beatles song "Get Back," what can you tell me about the place?
Um, it is not what people think it is. I mean, the Sonoran Desert is gorgeous. It's got the highest biomass of any desert in the world.
Right.
So there's a lot of, it's very lush and very green. Um, I live at the base of Mount Lemon. If anybody knows about Tucson, they know about the lemon. And yeah, and it's the most diverse city in Arizona, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And have you lived there all your life, or have you lived in other parts
Oh,
of the States?
no. I am originally from Detroit,
Hmm.
but I also lived in Tennessee, Ohio, California, and then moved to the mountains of Arizona and Prescott, and then moved down to Tucson to finish up my bachelor's degree and stayed.
Okay, so that's what took you to Tucson then, was your studies.
Yes.
And you're an interior designer for over 20 years.
Yes, correct. Started off doing murals, decorative finishes, and then after our economy crashed, I went back to get my bachelor's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you work for yourself or do you work for a company?
I have my own business.
Okay.
So yeah, it's family business. So we have an art gallery a few doors down from me, and then I have my design showroom and studio, which I'm in right now.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. And I guess your clients are all over, not just over all over that state of Arizona, but are they all over America? Because I guess a lot of it you can do electronically and that in terms of design work and such like.
No, it's generally here in Arizona,
Yeah.
and it's a neat dynamic because I live next to a really nice retirement community, thousands of homes.
Hmm.
And then my office is 10 minutes from that community. And
Okay.
then there's another community right next to me. So I'm sort of in this bubble here. Um, and it's nice because I only drive 15 minutes to get anywhere, as
Cool.
far as work
Yeah.
goes,
Uh-huh.
unless I'm doing a job in Scottsdale or Phoenix, Arizona. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
And has lockdown affected your business either in a positive or negative way?
Well, we did decide to shut the doors for a few months,
Hmm.
which I need a much needed break. So I just hung out on the property with my son, and we got a lot of fun things done, gardening, zip line, and just spending time with my boy. So
Uh-huh. And
yeah,
now
and we're finally open again by
cool.
appointment only. But
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
but
And
in a
people,
positive note, sorry to cut you
no,
off.
no, that's okay.
People were in lockdown, they're in their homes, they're wanting to change things and getting all these ideas. And so now it's just, going crazy business wise.
Yeah, I was talking to Kurt Carlson the other day up in
Minnesota.
the north, yeah, up in Minnesota. That was it. Thank you. All this state hopping, I'm not used to it. I keep
It's
getting
all
all the
good.
names of the states. So yeah, and he was saying that the real estate market is really quite busy in that as well. So I guess when the real estate market's busy, then you're busy as well because people want to move into new places and put their
Oh
own
yeah.
mark on it, don't they?
Yep. Hand in hand. I pretty much work with a lot of real estate agents. So
Yeah. And people are still spending money then, which is good.
yes, they are.
Good.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, that's good to know. And so we're here to talk about Pixies,
Yes.
greatest band in the world. You just described them before we came on air.
Yep.
Yeah.
Changed my life.
Changed your life. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a big statement.
No, for
So
real.
okay. So where did it all begin for you then with Pixies?
It began in the 80s. I'm 43, I'll be 44 this year.
Hmm.
And I was listening to a lot of punk, Dead Milkmen, Minor Threat, and the Violent Femmes. And my stepsister bought a bunch of cassettes off of those Get 10 Cassettes for a Penny
Yeah.
club. I
Hmm.
don't know if you had that over there.
Yeah, we have similar. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she gave me Doolittle for Christmas, just thinking I might like it.
Yeah.
And I listened to it. And at first I was like, the opening's pretty fast and solid.
Yeah.
And it was a little more avant-garde than
Mm-hmm.
things I was used to listening to. And I just kept listening to it over and over. I was falling asleep to it, listening to my headphones and my Walkman. And that's when it all changed, it just was so many different dynamics to it, and just the layers, and it was art rock to me. And I've always been an artist and always loved things that were different. So
I think I've described it on a few of these podcasts as their music is very sort of cinematic, isn't it? It does really sort of conjures up, quite stark images in your mind, I think, when you're listening to it. Because the lyrics are particularly descriptive.
Yes, but I like also how you can make your own story out of some of the lyrics, that's one thing I've always liked about them. And one reason why I've liked them for so long, and they've been just sort of a personal band to me, like my own personal life soundtrack, I guess. There's other bands I love, but I can't listen to them as much because I relate it to a certain relationship or a certain period. And with the Pixies, it's always just sort of been something for me. And so I can listen to it all day long. And,
So you weren't slicing up eyeballs at the age of 12 then?
No, I wasn't. I was out skateboarding and doing graffiti.
But I mean, 12 is young, really, to be listening to, Doolittle and the sort of lyrics that are on that album and those sort of subjects that Charles deals with.
Oh, yeah. It started when I was 9. I had an older cousin, she got me into Violent Femmes and The Cure, and then it just went down from there. And I'm surprised my parents let me listen to this stuff, listening to the Circle Jerks at the age of 12, 13, I didn't even know what that meant. I still don't want to know, but, it's just, I can't believe at the things my parents let me listen to, but I'm glad they, let me figure it out for myself.
Yeah, well, it's good. I think it's good to have relaxed parents who just let you find your own way within certain boundaries. So clearly they let you do that musically, which has been all to the benefit for you.
Oh yeah.
So Doolittle was the first album. Did you then go back into Surfer Rosa and Come on Pilgrim, or was it a little while before you?
Yes, I did. I went right to Surfer Rosa, fell in love. And that was my favorite album for a while. But once Bossanova came out, I mean, yeah. And when Bossanova came out, I believe I was just getting ready to go into high school. I was still in middle school. And it was different from everything else I was listening to, all the punk stuff, and a little more refined, I guess. And but it stuck with me. So.
And your friends and that at that stage, were they receptive to Pixies as well, or did they think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they didn't think you were a bit weird listening to this avant-garde rock band.
Yeah, I was just weird in general. Like back then, people were a little prejudiced against skateboarders and the goth kids. I wasn't goth. My sister was a goth, and we both listened to all the same music. She's actually on the Pixies this page.
Okay.
So it's
cool.
We're Irish twins, so we're 10 months apart to the day.
Yeah.
But we had the same group of friends, and really into The Cure and Pixies, Dinosaur Jr., things like that.
The Cure seemed to be a constant sort of influence to a lot of people in America. I wasn't aware that they were as popular and as big as they clearly are. Certainly amongst Pixie fans anyway. So
they're. I would think that they're well recognized throughout the world. So.
Oh yeah. I suppose I always think of them as being very much an English band, Cure.
Yeah.
But clearly they do have a massive influence in the States as well. So, but cool. So from then on, even at a young age, you started getting into the other albums and collecting them as and when they were released.
Yep.
And then it all came to an end.
Yes,
After
it
Trompe
did.
Le Monde. Yeah. And
Yes.
how did you feel about that at the time?
Oh, I was saddened. It's yeah, I was sad, but I went on to other things. And then Frank Black came out and put out his stuff, and I, followed that, and then
Yeah.
took a little detour. I'm gonna say this word again, down the fish road for for
I've just broken my fish virginity this evening, thanks to
yeah.
Jen Benoski.
I can't really listen to it much anymore, but did over 50 shows with them, and
Oh wow, okay.
yeah, so it was a lifestyle. I met a girl, she liked fish, I liked her, so yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes. Embarrassing times.
But you've kicked the fish habit now, and
Yes. I mean, I can listen occasionally, but yeah, it's not my bag.
yeah, it's well, I've only listened to the one track, which is okay, but
I don't know what track it is, so
I can't remember now. Actually, I'll find out and I'll post about it later. But yeah, it's just the one track that Jen has introduced me to. Whether I'll investigate more or not, I'm not quite sure at the moment. But yeah, so and then obviously after a while they reformed. And how do you feel about Pixies pre and post breakup and that? And do you see a lot of similarities in the music or differences in the music? Do you have one part of their sort of career which you prefer to another?
I like Pixies 1.0, but I also like I really like Cindy, when any band breaks up or goes on a hiatus, for me, when they get back together, it takes me a while to warm up again,
Okay.
because I don't understand the motives or whatnot, and love Kim, but, watching like the videos of the concerts after they got back together, you could tell she wasn't feeling it,
Yeah.
just didn't seem there,
Yeah.
and I love her. She was my first crush ever,
Okay.
like celebrity crush.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. It's what we say. She was going through the motions. I don't know if that's an expression in the States.
No, yes, it's an expression. So.
Yeah. So, so are you able to just pick one track then from
Oh yeah,
the entire Pixies catalog?
yes. If there's 3 tracks,
Okay.
I love "Letter to Memphis"
That is a
and
good song.
"Palace of the Brine," but all-time favorite is "The Happening." I mean, I could listen to it on loop,
Yeah.
and I just love it.
What is it that you love about that track particularly?
Oh, not so much the lyrics. I think it's the chorus and the pre-chorus, and then the outro. I love the lyrics on the outro. Just the way it goes out. It just makes me want to wave my hands and dance, and it's just a beautiful song. Just beautiful the way it swells.
And are you into the whole Area 51 and all that sort of kind of mythology around it, isn't there, really?
Yeah. No, I'm not. When I was younger, though, I did believe in aliens and had some strange things, but we won't talk about that. But I don't think it's really the content of the song. I think it's just the layers and just sonically how it sounds. It's
got an atmosphere about it, hasn't it?
It does. It's just, it's like a drug. And I don't do drugs, except for the cider, but it's just literally, it's just this, release when they do the ahs and saying hi,
Yeah. So, favorite album then? Does that point towards Bossanova?
It's Bossanova. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Definitely. Team Bossanova.
Okay. And so, have you been able to see Pixies? I don't know, sort of how. I guess Tucson, you must get decent bands and that come through there. The Pixies come through there?
Do. No, they go to Phoenix, and believe it or not, I've been over 500 shows my life. I've only seen the Pixies once.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it was a surprise from my sister Shenya, who's on the page. It was 2017, and she bought me a concert ticket and a plane ticket up to Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome going with my sister, who's one of my best friends, and she lives up in the Northwest. So it was great. We were right on the rail. it was a small venue, and just, I remember every moment. So, and just danced.
Cool. So you had a good time then.
We had a
So
great
so that was 2007. So
17.
sorry, 2017. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, right.
Yeah,
Right.
but they had the Orwells opening up, which I like the Orwells. They're out of
Mhm.
Chicago.
Yeah.
So it was a
Okay.
nice opener, great venue, and
Hmm.
just a great time up in Portland.
And Paz was in the band at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. And she's
Okay.
great. Yes.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
The
So
energy
she certainly added a different dimension to the band, doesn't she?
she has, and
Yeah.
yeah, she's brought some life. I love Kim.
Yeah.
Kim.
Despite her being Kim
Kim
was your
paved the
crush.
way, and put down that, you know, structure. But no, Paz is definitely a very accomplished musician.
Hmm.
All around.
And
So.
do you like the Breeders and the work that Kim's done away from
Oh, I
Pixies?
love the Breeders. Never got into the amps, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, when Breeders came out, Pod and Last Splash, those were on my playlist. I
Yeah.
still listen to the Breeders at some point, but they're
Hmm.
not as timeless to me as the Pixies. Like the Pixies to me is just timeless music. Like I
Yeah.
said, I don't equate it to any certain thing, and so I will probably be able to listen to them for the rest of my life.
It's just a theme track to your life, then, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Okay, so they split up, and Frank continued with a solo career. How did you feel about his solo work?
Oh, I loved it. It was a little off from what I was used to,
Mhm.
and Teenager of the Year was great. It did have to grow on me. My friends at the time were like, oh, this is a little weird. So, but no, I loved it. So, and still listen to it.
Yeah, yeah, they're great albums, especially the
Yes.
first two.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually listened to the Cult of Ray last night in bed, so
Oh,
I've had a bit of a thing about the Cult of Ray and not
isn't
gone.
that great artwork? It's just perfect, isn't it?
No, no, not at all. I'm going to talk to you about the art. I'm going to talk to you about the artwork in a moment, but
Okay.
no, I still can't get beyond that imagery. I don't know what it is, but maybe I have nightmares from the Cyclops films or something like that, because it's sort of that one-eyed sort of
Yeah.
strange image. Anyway, so yeah, but I did actually listen to Cult of Ray last night in bed, so I'm starting to try and get over my phobia of it and appreciate it. So a favorite Frank Black solo choice?
Believe it or not, I would have thought I would have picked something off of Teenager of the Year,
Mm-hmm.
but the song Honeycomb
Yeah.
is it's my favorite.
Okay.
And actually, I wasn't even exposed to that album. I was playing a club in Sedona, Arizona, and I had played this club a bunch of times. And the booking manager there, who I became friends with, knew that I liked the Pixies because we would do a random Pixies cover every once in a while. And he gave me a mixed CD and it had Honeycomb on it. And he'd put a bunch of Frank Black on it. And I hadn't heard it. I was out of the loop,
Yeah.
with Frank Black's solo career. So I just think it's a great song.
Okay. So that would be your choice for his solo career.
Yes.
I shall make a note of that. Now, of course, art and imagery, and that is very much part of the Pixies package, if you like, and the work of Vaughan Oliver and all the T-shirts and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So starting off with T-shirts, are you a Pixies T-shirt wearer?
Yeah, I have a few, not too many, maybe about 8. So
That's eight more than me. So
yeah,
yeah,
but I don't wear a lot of T-shirts. I mean, I do when I'm
yeah,
home
yeah.
and on Sunday, but I usually have to wear button-downs in
Sure, yeah,
college,
yeah, yeah.
But, yeah,
Have to be a
or if
little
I'm
bit
out
smart.
hiking, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah,
So, and Vaughan Oliver, as an interior designer, you obviously got an eye for art. And how did you feel about his work before his sad passing?
I loved all of his work, and yeah, it is sad that he passed.
Mm.
My grandma was a graphic designer,
Okay.
and that's
Yeah.
where I get the design from.
Mhm.
And she would even comment on like the Pixies albums and the themes, and I was always enamored with the artwork, even at a young age before I could make sense of it. And, you know, but yeah, it's definitely iconic to me.
Very striking. Yeah.
It is. And I mean, you can pick out a Vaughan Oliver, image or photograph. And yeah.
Do you have a favorite album cover?
I'm going to album cover. I really love Doolittle.
Yeah.
I love the whole theme throughout. And then Trump. I think Trump was a little disturbing to me at first, and even though I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I like Trump. Yeah, I like all of it. I'm not a fan of the hairy back guy.
No.
No.
I can understand that.
As a prepubescent teenager, I loved Surfer Rosa, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can see the attraction.
Oh yeah, but I'd have to say, Doolittle and Trump.
Yeah.
Even though Bossanova is my favorite album.
Yeah.
And I do love the new poster. So.
Okay. Yeah. The Beneath the Eerie and that. Yeah. So
no,
I know
the new Doolittle.
Oh, okay.
Bossanova.
Yeah. Sorry. Poster. Yes. So you're a bit of a collector of Pixies posters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a whole
tell
room.
us how many. And where you hang them all?
Well, it started in my my own bathroom at home, and then I was like, no, they're gonna get water damage. And I have a home office, and it's an office music room. Okay. So I probably have about 18 in there.
Right.
And I curate artwork too for a living. So this was tough though, fitting 18 posters and skateboard decks and memorabilia.
You need a lot of space to do that.
Yeah. Or you have to be thrifty and just really think about the layout. Okay. And then I have, so a little over 20, and there's some that aren't hung.
Okay.
It's my happy place. I go home, put on music, and I can just look at the artwork and the nice colors and the nice designs.
Sounds wonderful. Sounds like a great space.
Yeah.
And do you play an instrument as well, or you just listen to the music?
Oh, I play.
Okay.
I haven't been playing much. I've got a 6-year-old son.
Yeah.
We play together. He knows how to play Where's My Mind, but
wow.
Yeah. Well, he knows how to sing it and play it on the xylophones.
So you're bringing him up well then.
Oh yeah, he loves the Pixies. Yeah. Okay. So, but no, I actually, when I had my mural and decorative painting business, I was also a touring musician for a little over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And I had a band, and so we played all over the country, and still have stuff on Spotify and iTunes and all of that.
Cool.
But it's a rough life, touring around and,
yeah,
recording and touring and,
Do you want to tell us the name of the band that you're in so we can look them up?
Carnuba, Carnuba, but I'm not trying to make a plug. So
no.
I'm not talking about music.
Sorry, CAR.
Yeah, NUBA.
NUBA.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't know that about you. So.
Yeah, I don't talk about it much. So that was my other life.
So what happened there then? Just.
I just got burnt out, and like I said, I had the painting business and mural business, and I wanted to go back to school. And I love my bandmates. They're, still my buddies. They're up in the mountains of Arizona, but it was just time to, do something different. It's a difficult lifestyle,
Yeah, I can imagine. So what sort of music did you play?
It was indie rock.
Okay.
Just, a little more psychedelic indie rock, but indie punkish. There was a little surfish edge to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And what, you toured all over the States, did you, or mainly around?
Yeah, the States, and we've played down in Mexico, but yeah.
Okay. And did you support any acts that we would know?
Voodoo Glow Skulls. I don't know if you know who they are.
Not a name I know, no.
We played with this band from the 70s called Firefall. I don't know how this happened and got booked, but they sing like the song, You Are the Woman That I Always Dreamed Of. Some cheesy, you probably don't know it over there. But no, Oh, not too many big national
No.
acts. No.
No, but I mean, to tour all over the States, though, I mean, you've got to
Oh
be
yeah.
competent at what you do, haven't you? So,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and what instrument did you play in the band then?
Guitar and vocals and songwriter,
Uh-huh.
and then keyboards a little bit.
Okay. And how long were you together as a group?
Over 10 years, same
Oh, okay.
lineup too.
Yeah,
So
cool.
started off with as a trio, and then that lineup sort of dissolved, and I auditioned people and had 3 other guys, and yeah, which is hard to do with a band.
I can imagine. Yeah, because I imagine there's not a lot of money in it either. So you're paying out your own money a lot of the time, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, that was the good thing about being in business for myself. So yeah, but we had a band account, and any money we'd make, we'd put it towards merch and gas and all of that.
But of course, when you're away, you're not working either, are you? So it's harder to make money when you're not at work and away touring and that. So
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and then, we have friends all over the country, so we didn't get hotels, sleep at someone's house, arrange it all, just made friends all over.
Wow, that's cool.
Yep.
Very, very cool. Excellent.
But now I'm
now you're sensible.
Yes, I'm a good, sensible man.
Yes. Bringing up your son in the ways of the Pixies, which is
exactly
a good way to live your life.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He gets a little sick of it sometimes. The other day we had to go to the post office to pick up the new Bossanova poster, and he's like, "Dad, another Pixies poster?" But then by the time we got home, he had it out of the tube and he was spreading it out and all of that.
So among your 20 or so posters, do you have a favorite of those as well?
Oh yeah, Studio Sepico, Rice. Oh, do you know who I'm talking about? Rise. No. It was just on his website. Okay. But no, it's the goat lady with the.
Okay. Yeah. I got you.
Another. I am a goat farmer too. Just so you know. Goat.
You're a goat farmer too.
Yes, we have pygmy goats. We have 2 acres.
Do you ever sleep?
Yeah, I do. I sleep nice. So.
Okay.
But no, we've got 2 acres and we have pygmy goats, and they're fun.
Oh wow. What a life.
Random weird thing. The goat farmer from Detroit, you know. Yeah.
He's into Pixies and interior designing.
And goats.
Wow.
The goats were for the kids, so give them responsibility, and he loves the goats. So and they're smaller than our dogs. So
yeah. I'm sure if my wife had any say in it, we'd probably have pygmy goats and pygmy anything really that had fur on it, I'd imagine. So she's very much into all that sort of. So we just have a tiny little dog called Tilly, who you may have seen.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I saw your wife in passing too.
Okay.
Bringing you the other day.
Yes. Yeah. She occasionally brings me some refreshment when I'm doing these.
That's very nice of her.
Yeah. So okay. So the work of the Catholics.
Never got into them.
That's okay.
Yep.
That's okay.
I mean, I've listened, but I don't think I can even recall. I know Dog in the Sand. But, there's.
And is that because it's just too different from Frank Black and Pixies' work? And so a lot of people say there's a sort of a country influence on it, and maybe country's not your thing.
Country's not my thing. I mean, I like the old country, I can get into bluegrass, but I don't know why. I just never got into it. I was probably listening to something else at that time, and besides the Pixies, a lot of my music I listen to now is, just modern indie rock, a lot of relevant bands now, bands that were around in the 90s and 2000s, but I mean, I just love music,
Yeah. Okay.
Besides the Pixies.
That's okay. So you're not going to be choosing a Catholics track as your third track. So give me a third track that you'd like me to put up on the post when I put this video up.
You know what? I'm going to put up something that's not in any of the Pixies or Frank Black, Charles' repertoire. It's a band called Deerhunter. I don't know if
Okay.
you're familiar with Deerhunter.
No.
Atlas Sound, okay. But the song is called Never Stops.
Okay.
And just the way he plays the guitar and the vocals, it to me has a very Pixie-esque sound, the nice swells. So yeah, and I have posted some stuff on the Friends of Pixies page. And
Okay.
so um, there are people out there that like the Pixies that also like this, but I think it's a good thing to introduce to people.
You think I like them more than Fish, possibly?
Definitely. I
Okay,
don't
well
know
that's
how this whole fish thing started throughout these, but
it was when I was talking to Kristen Whitaker the other
oh yeah,
day, and she mentioned about them. And being English, we're sort of we have this reputation that we're just sort of polite and what have you. So I just sort of nodded politely as if I knew who she was talking about, and clearly I didn't. So,
I did see that. So yeah.
so that's where that came from. But so no, so that's another act for me to look at, and they're still current, are they, or is it
Oh yeah,
just
yeah,
one
they're
person?
current.
Or
Yeah.
okay,
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, and they're pretty much the same lineup that they've had. I think maybe one or two members are different, but got to see them down here in Tucson, you know.
okay.
But yeah, they're a well-known indie rock band. So
Hmm.
yeah.
So Tucson, how big is Tucson? Going back to
Oh,
where you
it's
live,
like a
roughly.
million. It's about a million people. It's
Big
not
enough, big
super
enough.
big. Yeah, and JR and Michelle are down here, and I have
Yeah,
not met them yet.
right.
We all had tickets to meet at the Built to Spill show,
Oh yes, yeah, yeah,
and then COVID happened, and so.
right.
But actually, I might be assisting them. They bought a new, or old home that they've lived in, and so I might be going over and helping them with
Oh,
some
good.
projects.
All right, okay. So how far away are they from you then, roughly?
You know, I live actually on the other side of the mountain, so they're probably about 40 minutes.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
that's
don't live in town. I live on the outskirts.
yeah.
So yeah, very rural area.
So yeah, but for Americans, a 40-minute drive is nothing, is it? So
Yeah, no, it
compared to some
isn't. Yeah,
distances that you have to
yeah.
drive.
So
Whereas anything for us over here, anything over sort of half an hour, and we're sort of thinking, really, do I have to do that? So
yeah, no, I get it. Especially me now living in my bubble, you know,
yeah.
where my showroom is and my home and all my work. So like if I have to go take a client in Tucson, I'm just like, oh, 45 minutes, but then it's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Beneath the Eerie, how did you feel about that as an album? Did you
I
like it
liked it
sort
a
of,
lot. Yeah,
did you
I
like
like
it
it a lot.
instantly, or did it have to grow on you?
Well, you know, they started dropping singles. You know, Graveyard Hill.
Yeah.
Love. Honestly, I know it's very poppy for that album, but or just very upfront. But that's my favorite song off the album, and I
Hmm.
love Daniel Boone. My son loves Catfish Kate.
Yeah.
Um, but out of the Pixies 2.0, it's not my favorite one. It's
Okay.
probably my second favorite. So
First, your favorite being Indie Cindy.
Indie Cindy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And a
Yeah.
track off Indie Cindy that you particularly like?
Andro Queen.
Oh, okay.
I love that song.
Right. Okay. That's an
Yep.
interesting choice.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
video is just phenomenal.
Yeah. 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 So they're not really known for their videos, are they? But it seems
No.
recently, in the last couple of albums, it feels as if they've been trying to put a bit more into their videos, because they were
Mhm.
very sort of. I mean, if you think about the Valoria video and things like that going back, that was
Yeah.
just basically them coming down the side of a hill, slowed down,
Yeah.
not went into a quarry, not a hill. But they seem to be putting more effort into their videos recently, don't they?
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that they sort of should have tried a bit more earlier on in their careers, or can you understand why they didn't really want to?
I totally understand why they really didn't want to, you know.
Mm,
And plus the artwork that they were putting out, you know, with Vaughan Oliver was just
yeah.
phenomenal.
Hmm.
Um, but, you know, I've always seen the Pixies a little bit as against the grain, almost do it yourself,
Yeah.
you know, that's, you know, just they're outside of the box. Yeah, the only early video I think I like is Alec Eiffel, you
Yeah.
know. But I mean, I can't watch Valoria. I'm just like, oh. but I do like the newer videos. I loved On Graveyard Hill. I can
Yeah.
watch that over and over.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's just eye candy. It's just so visually
Yeah.
stimulating,
Yeah.
the colors and contrast and the content,
Yeah.
The content's a little cheesy, but I like it,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
So take away all their great artwork and the videos and things like that, and just strip it down to the music. You'd still be a big fan of Pixies, would you? If it was just sort of more,
oh
yeah, more sort of run of the mill, as we say over here. So
yep,
it's just that visionary of the art, and that just adds extra for you.
it does. And when I first started listening to them and I got Bossanova on cassette, the artwork didn't click. It was the music,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, the music was a little more refined than some of the stuff I was listening to, the punk stuff. And
Yeah.
And it took a few listens, but then it just clicked, and it was just like, whoa. And so ever since I look at music in a totally different way and look at the different dynamics and feelings of it,
Now that Vaughan Oliver's no longer with us, how do you sort of see the artistic direction, if you like, of the packaging and the posters and all that sort of stuff? How do you see that? I know they commissioned and a lot of the posters and what have you.
I haven't really thought about it.
Okay.
I really haven't, and that's a good question, actually. I love most of the posters that they have commissioned out to people. Some of them I don't like, and you hear the complaint there's a lot of skulls, which there are a lot of skulls in the content, but no, I don't even know how they would think to approach that, because you couldn't knock that off. You couldn't try to imitate that. So that's a good question.
Yeah, certainly with their album covers, and like you say, they're so distinctive.
Yes.
That it is going to require a change for as long as they carry on recording and putting out new material and that as well. So,
yeah.
Anyway, it's been great talking to you.
Hey, great talking to you too.
Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it's nice to get to know someone who I haven't seen too much in the Facebook group and that. So it's nice to spend some time with you and to find out your feelings about the group and that as well, which is all part and parcel of what I wanted to get from doing these podcasts as well, so as we can all know each other a little bit better. So
yes, definitely.
All right.
And thank you for doing these.
That's okay.
They've been lovely to watch. Yeah. And I am a newbie to the group. I've only been in for about 2 years. So.
Okay. That's that's not a competition, is it? So
no.
We're all like-minded and we're all here for the right reason.
It was finding, like, when I found this group, I was just like, whoa, there's other people out there that are like me. Yeah. And it was just finding that. Yeah. So.
And it's a really nice group as well. It's just got a nice atmosphere, people. And
yes,
there are very, very few arguments and that amongst the members. Yes. And those who fall out with us are dealt with very discreetly. But hopefully that won't happen to either of us. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Brandon. I really appreciate it, and I like that backdrop that you've got there. So nice office you've got there.
Oh, thank you. Well, you have a great weekend.
Thank you very much, Brandon. All the best to you. Cheers.
Yep, you too. Cheers.
Bye.